to SME Heartbeats, Raw Stories, Bold Futures, your go-to podcast for the untold tales of entrepreneurship and innovation. I'm Sanka Kankiti, here to illuminate the extraordinary journey of small and medium-sized businesses with you. With over 95% of companies worldwide falling into the SME category, that includes SMBs as well, and creating 70% of jobs, it's clear. These companies aren't just businesses, they're the very backbone of our society. Yet in a world where 67% of these businesses struggle and half won't see their 5th anniversary, their stories often go untold. It's time to change. SME Heartbeats is more than a podcast. It's a mission to spotlight the unsung champions of our global village. Together, we'll explore their challenges, celebrate their triumphs, and learn from their journeys. Remember, every time we choose to spend $1, we're voting on the world we want to live in. So join me as we cast our votes for a world that uplifts and supports the heart and soul of our economy, the SMBs and the SMEs. Let's go far together.
I'm Sandra Reimer, and I'm the founder of CoLabourNation. And CoLabourNation connects startup founders and business owners with Canadian freelancers who can help them advance their businesses as they outsource marketing, communication, and administration.
That's really interesting. So now that we know what you do, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I myself have been freelancing for 20 years. And so I've been working from home before it was a thing. And I love the freelance life so much. That's why I started CoLabourNation 3 years ago. And this is a fun fact. I have been thrift shopping around the world.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that must be fascinating.
Including in New York City, Galway, Ireland, and most recently Reykjavik, Iceland.
Wow. I used to do that when I was little with my grandmother. I was a kid, so she used to position as we're going treasure hunting.
Totally. That's exactly how I see it.
Since you've been doing freelance for 20 years, and now you have your own business.
Yeah.
Tell me, there's a lot of people who are starting to work from home and are not sure how to kind of organize their days, how to get comfortable outside of an office environment. What are some of the key things that you think are important for your productivity during any day that you're working from home?
Yeah, I think whenever you are driving a venture yourself, whether you're a small business owner or a freelancer, it's really important to have clarity on your goals and know the big picture. And so that's the same for freelancers. They need to know what they're aiming at and then structure their days around that and have really good business systems in place. Just because you're providing solo services doesn't mean you don't need proper bookkeeping, project management, and task management, all that kind of stuff.
Very true. I think that's a lot with a lot of entrepreneurs or solopreneurs is that they start their craft, they're an expert in a certain area, but when it comes to like the financials, doing the books, all that kind of stuff, it's the last thing on the list, but it's one of the most important things to keep you going, right? So
for sure. And one of the privileges of being a freelancer, and you mentioned this earlier, you were talking about people want to do things on their own terms. And the privilege of running a freelance business is you get to, what I love about it is you get to design a business around your strengths and the things you do best that get results and that pay well. And so you get to be this really strategic niche contributor that provides a ton of value because you're designing your own work life.
But now that you have this business, how has your daily life changed?
Yeah, my daily life has changed. All the productivity habits are still there, making sure I'm knowing my big picture and then structuring my days and weeks according to accomplish my goals. But then looking for opportunities to offload my lower value activities where that aren't my strengths to my assistant and to others in my circle who can provide value. So I've been hiring virtual assistants for my business for at least 5 or 10 years. I've had a number of them. And it's super helpful because then I'm freed up to do what I do best and make more progress.
It's funny. I think on LinkedIn, more and more businesses for virtual assistants have been approaching and trying to do some advertising and so forth on LinkedIn to get more business. I think that it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I think it's tempting for many people, but because it's foreign, because it's not like you get to meet in an office face to face and get to know the person, I think there's a lot of fear about that. But you've been doing it for years, so you feel that it works well and it's worth taking the chance.
Yeah, and I de-risk it by having a really good vetting process when I'm bringing someone on.
Key.
And yeah, and when I'm vetting someone for my own business or for other people's businesses, I want to uncover their zone of genius. I don't want somebody who can just do the job, kinda.
That's my love language. That speaks to me.
I want to know people are doing what they love to do, that energizes them, that they produce amazing results on.
Absolutely. More people should do that in life. I think we go so much farther. We get so much better work. And I think everybody is just better engaged in whatever the project is or the job is as well.
Absolutely. Now you have to, within that, if you're running a business and it's not a hobby, there has to be money attached. And I believe that those things that you're best at, if you pick the ones that also pay well, then that's when you've got the ace in the hole.
Monetize your superpower.
That's right.
You can do so much more with the gifts that you have and the business model that you have as well. Can you share some of the major challenges, aside from the whole transformation of pivoting, right? Can you tell us a little bit about the challenges or the turning points that really helped you or defined where you were to, when the ball started rolling?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when you're starting a new venture, you're this mass of spaghetti of ideas and just trying to figure it out. And I'm a voracious consumer of information, books, podcasts, webinars. And I was searching for a map to what I was trying to build. And so I read lots of really great stuff. And one of the books that I read that really caught my attention and has been a valuable map has been the work of Ash Moira. And he wrote Running Lean and Starting Lean. And he says, fall in love with the problem, not your solution.
Yes, because the path to the solution can vary.
Yes, right. So I recognize the problem. There is an opportunity here to help freelancers, help people figure out how to freelance. I saw the problem, but I was solving it in a way that wasn't leading to money. So what Ash Moira and others advise is go back to the drawing board, talk to your customers, critical. So I interviewed freelancers and I said, okay, what are you going to pay me for? It was that, I asked more strategic questions than that, but that was the essential.
But that's the bottom line question, really.
Come on, what are you going to pay me for? I'm knocking myself out here producing these amazing things and you're not paying me. So they said, all this courses and coaching, that's nice, but we can get that lots of places. What we really need help with, what our urgent pain point is, help us get clients.
That is huge.
It's huge. And so I said, I think I can do that. I love sales. Getting the next contract and the next contract is part of the adrenaline rush of being a freelancer. So I love doing
that. That is pivotal, because it's a lot of the reasons why freelancers fail. And even myself, I'm not a freelancer, but we have a business, and you find yourself in a position where you need to be the sales department for a while. Even if you have a sales team, you still will always have to be the sales department. And I hate it. But like, in all honesty, I hate it because there's such
Mhm.
a stigma that comes with it. But it's
Yeah.
something, it's a necessary thing. When you find someone who actually enjoys it, that is a monetizable superpower.
That's right. So then, but I knew from Ash Moira's work, Running Lean, Starting Lean, I knew, okay, it's not enough just to talk to the freelancers because I'm looking for a two-sided marketplace,
Right.
freelancers and business owners. So I went and I interviewed small business owners and startup founders. And
Oh,
I discovered that they had a corresponding pain point, and that's when I knew I was onto something. So their pain point is, they were having a hard time finding a trusted source of freelance talent who they knew could deliver results in their marketing and communication. I
mm.
heard stories of people just being burned, paying way too much for no results, people of hiring people who took off with the money or just produced really mediocre work. And I heard
Oh,
stories, yeah, I heard people going on the big platforms and they posted a project all excited, and then they get a barrage of 25 or 30 people blasting them with, oh, I can help, I can help.
mm.
And if marketing and communication is in your space and you don't have the expertise to vet people, it's like this unsurmountable challenge, right? And you're like, oh, I'll just do it myself, or I'll ask my neighbor's son to do me a website or something.
I was going to say, so how do your personal values reflect in your business mission, and what makes you, what's your edge? I think in many ways you've started to kind of reveal that about yourself, but
Hmm.
I'll let you take the stage and get on your soapbox and tell us all about it.
Sure. Well, I believe everybody has a contribution to make to the world,
Mm.
and that it's really important to figure it out and to understand your superpowers and how you can make a difference for the people around you. And that can be through business, that can be through nonprofit ventures, whatever it is. And however you're able to make a difference, that's it's kind of your responsibility to do that. And my first business, the tagline was helping world changers tell their stories.
Love that. Oh, that speaks to me. I love that. So, who benefits the most from the work that you do and the services you offer, and why?
Yeah, so what I'm noticing is that the business owners coming my way seeking to be matched with freelancers, they are generally either solopreneurs or business owners with small teams, and they're at this inflection point where they're kind of done with doing it all themselves and they're done with free help, but they're not quite ready to hire more staff or to hire a marketing agency that can handle all their marketing and communication services. And that's actually a really great sweet spot for hiring freelance specialists because they can add a ton of value and really accelerate businesses to the next level without adding excessive uh, overhead. It doesn't, it's a
Yeah.
cost of effective way to move ahead.
Yeah, I think a lot of times clients, like you describe, are going from, they're on a, as you said, a cusp of transformation,
Hmm.
going from one level to the next level. And so
Yeah.
what they had is no longer going to be sufficient to get them to where they need to be. And
Hmm.
so there's a great advantage in hiring someone who's really good at certain things, that
Hmm.
can come in like Superman or Superwoman, come in and
Hmm.
help you get over that hump, so
Hmm.
that then you can be better established, and then maybe hire somebody full time, or maybe just decide that you want to keep working with these different people with their various expertise. I think
Hmm.
it's I think it's one of the best ways moving forward that organizations can move faster, is to have a diversified workforce, to have like on your Rolodex, and those who understand what that is, thank you. But have a Rolodex of your short list of freelancers or subject matter experts that you can call on a dime,
Hmm.
probably a
Yeah,
two
absolutely.
but and then have your workforce that are more like the day-to-day operations and things like that, and then combine the two when you have special projects moving forward. So even
Absolutely.
for organizations maybe that are starting to consider what they're, because we're still February, right?
Hmm.
Consider how they're going to make their objectives and strategies come through. This is a really important consideration,
Hmm.
and they'll get to their objectives.
Absolutely, and it's a real trend in the future of work. So,
Mhm.
according to a recent Canadian study in 2021, 70% of Canadian employers were planning to hire freelancers or contractors as part of what you mentioned, a blended workforce. And it's a very strategic move. It's a great way to meet some of the skills and labor shortages that we're
Mhm.
experiencing in Canada, where you are just hiring somebody for the time you need them, a fractional professional that could be a strategist coming up with a plan for you, like a consultant,
Exactly.
or you can hire someone a few hours a month, a few hours a week for whatever you need them. For example, in my freelance business, I worked for some of my clients for 12, 15 years, just providing the services they need when they needed them. And I had a whole portfolio of people like that who needed me for different amounts of time. And it works for the freelancer because they get to have a portfolio of work that is fitted to their strengths.
Yeah.
And it works for the business owner because they're getting these specialized people who know what they're doing, who are up on the trends in those areas, and can just inject that expertise when it's needed.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, having been in HR in a different life, um, companies may not be able to afford the type of talent they need to move forward at this juncture in their evolution. And
Hmm.
so they're able to not have to pay full time salaries of, maybe $150,000, and they could pay like 75 and get it when they
Totally.
need it, and have more juniors to kind of, do more of the operational kind of work that'll support that strategic. So I think
Definitely.
it's fantastic. I think it's definitely something that companies need to continue to consider moving forward, because I think that's what's really going to support their advancement quickly. And goodness knows,
Hmm.
the landscape moves so fast right now. You don't have time to adjust very much.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
tell
definitely.
me, what do you find particularly rewarding in your experience with your clients, with a project, or just with the experience of the business that you have?
Hmm. Yeah. I just get particular joy in connecting people to each other for mutual benefit and also connecting them to resources. So every time I make a match, I just get really excited because I know the business owner is going to be able to get some pesky stuff off their to do list that's draining their energy and frustrating them. And the freelancer is going to be able to do work they're great at and add to their income. And so, yeah, that really makes me happy.
How in your business have you been able to implement and thread your values and the things that you, as a human being living the life's experience, have been able to
Mhm.
sew into your business and, I guess, contribute to society?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is one of my best contributions because I understand both journeys, both sides of my two sided marketplace. I am a business owner, a startup founder, and I've been a freelancer. So I'm a good bridge between the two. And
Yes, you're a great
also,
translator.
yeah, and because of this understanding people's uniqueness and how they can make a great contribution, that insight, that lens is also an opportunity for me to do this curation of talent that is a pain point for business owners while helping freelancers with their biggest pain point, which is finding clients who will pay properly and treat them fairly.
What's the proudest moment in your journey?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've established, you've been doing this for a moment and so forth, what are you really, really excited and proud about?
So one of the things I'm really proud of is that I was able to be accepted as a perk partner with Boundless Accelerator, which is the startup incubator that they helped me develop CoLabourNation.
Mm.
And I saw an opportunity to not just attract clients, business owners one by one, but my strategy is to become the go-to source of freelance talent from within communities of business owners.
Oh, interesting.
So now I supply freelance talent to Boundless Accelerator startup founders. And I formed, just past fall, I formed a similar partnership with Innovate Niagara. And
Mm.
I'm working on other partnerships like that for a few reasons, because it's a steady pipeline of projects for the freelancers, but I
Right.
can also customize my talent pool to what those communities need.
Right.
So when I interview, I look for people who've worked for startups and who understand that journey, because that marketing journey is very different than an established business.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. About maybe the climate right now, or the terrain right now in, marketing, communications, freelance, and what might be coming up, that may be either freelancers listening or organizations listening, because I think many organizations are almost bruised and tattered from some of the old
Mhm.
experiences they've had. So if you had to find one thing to say to kind of convince them to take a chance to open their hearts again,
Open the hearts again.
what would it be?
With regards to hiring people to help with their marketing, do you mean that kind of thing?
To even considering looking outside of retiring the status quo
Mm,
for a solution that could actually bring concrete, impactful value,
mhm,
progression in their organization.
right. Yeah, I think going to trusted people and asking for advice, or maybe somebody's journey you respect who's already been over the hump that you are facing, asking them what they did and who helped them do it is a good way to find the people who could really produce results for you. And that's really what CoLabourNation is a proxy for word of mouth and trust. And so you're looking for trusted sources. So you can find those through friends, colleagues, other businesses you respect, or a service like mine where you're getting curated um, experts and people who can really deliver results.
So before we sign off, do you want to just let people know exactly how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. So my website is colabournation.ca, and or you can find me on LinkedIn, Sandra Reimer, and put CoLabourNation in beside, and you'll find me pretty easily.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This is fun.
A new challenge.